So today we're riding Raptor Route, a relatively new trail. Starts basically at LPS on Porcupine Rim, and recently built. It is a combination of 3 different trails. We're on Eagle Eye, and then we go into Hawk's Glide, and finally Falcon Flow. This first little bit gives a pretty good idea of what to expect on these trails. It's varied between that single tracky type stuff, this rocky type stuff, and then we get into some sections of chunky stuff as well. Now I'm riding this on kind of a gross day, so we shuttled up today, just not being too sure how long the weather's going to hold out before it starts to rain. But 2 days ago we rode up, and riding up here just means riding Sand Flats Road, which is the same road that Slick Rock trails are on in the Sand Flats recreation area. You just keep on driving or riding. When we rode up, it was pretty much a non-stop pedal for about an hour and a half. So it is a pretty big ride then when you add that stuff in. For a lot of people, there's some fitness freaks out there who that wouldn't faze them in the slightest. I would suggest doing it as a ride. It's a cool overall experience. The views on the way up, especially, well, the entire way, are really worthwhile, especially if you happen to have camped in Sand Flats at one of the campgrounds. That's one of the things that we really enjoyed about this, was parking and being able to ride either right from our camp spot or a very short little drive to the Falcon Flow trailhead, which in that case is at the bottom of the trail, and then you're riding to the top. So as I said, this is Eagle Eye. Next comes Hawk's Glide. As you can see, a variety of stuff. On Eagle's Eye, everything is pretty straightforward. They call this, or I sort of consider it to be, tech flow. The flow part just meaning that it's like 95% descending, and when you are descending, your use of brakes is minimal, just touching on them maybe to control speed right before a corner like that, and with the exception of those 5% where you're pedaling, not a heck of a lot of pedaling. So my definition of flow trail is no pedal, no brake, or little pedal, little brake. And then what I love about flow trails is it rewards your skill being able to keep the momentum as much as possible. And when you ride this trail up, your legs are pretty frazzled, and then when you ride it down, you're pretty much getting the upper body exercise on the descent. So I think this probably gives you an excellent idea of what Eagle's Eye consists of. But I'll have to wait until a spot where there's a natural break to stop filming, and until then, enjoy the show. Some crazy winds in this part. Hey there. Thank you. That's a good one. Just myself. So this is a blue rated trail, and I think that that's probably pretty accurate for a lot of black level riders. I think that you can have an absolute blast on this thing just by trying to ride it that little bit faster. I think it's pretty much designated as directional, so you're not really worried about coming around the corner and finding somebody there. Howdy.
Hey.
Have a good one. So I suspect for those kind of people that we just passed there, this is going to be, oh man, judging by Strava, there were a lot of people taking 3 hours to do Raptor Route. I'm not sure what it's going to take me. I guess we'll see. Now I'm on a Giant Trans Advanced Pro 29.2, so I'm on a 120 millimeter rear suspension, basically a short travel trail bike. I'm more than happy on this sort of stuff. But I think a lot of people would probably be picking something in the maybe 140, 150 range. Would just quiet some of this rock chatter stuff enough to make it a bit more comfortable in the long run, especially if you happen to be a more nervous rider and you're on the brakes and clasping your bars super tight. Hey guys. Howdy. Now we're on the quick little connector here that takes us over to Glide. Hi guys. So as you can see, a relatively popular route. Now the one thing that stood out to me on this Glide is a bit more of this sustained chunk and a few spots that have loose enough sand like here that you really got to be paying attention, especially for us Canadians not used to what we're supposed to do in sand. You can be kind of thrown off in there. More of it here. I've been fortunate enough to have ridden this trail 2 days ago, so I was fortunate enough then to be able to really take in the views in a lot of these spots here, because that is one thing Moab is kind of known for. Not sure if you knew that or not. More of that loose sand there that just wants to pull your wheels in whatever direction. Over the last couple days, I have talked to a few people who have ridden the traditional Whole Enchilada route, where you're going down Porcupine, and they are purposely choosing to do this just pure fun rather than rattling yourself to bits on a lot of old 4x4 chunky trail that invites you to go fast, and then you meet a square edge and end up with, remember this part, with a damaged rim or a flat tire. People are choosing to do this one as the pure fun way to finish off. And then that sand flats road that you finish off on Falcon Flow, you can just ride that back past the slick rock trailhead and right back into town. As most people would probably know, geez, sand is weird. Run through this because it's bad enough sand. Somebody ahead of me that just did the same. Hello. That's kind of tricky stuff, hey? Sure, I'll go past on your left then. Get it? Have fun.
Yeah, you too.
Yeah, so sand is catching everybody out here. Smiles on everyone's faces though, so that's always a good sign. So the one thing I do remember about this this eagle's eye beyond this tricky sand was the exit on the trail that spits you back on the road for the very brief section you ride to join back up with Falcon Flow. And that exit is kind of a cool few seconds of black trail, I would say. Something to look forward to though. Howdy.
Howdy.
Thank you.
Here.
Have a good one. Just myself.
Okay.
Well, it's a bummer when you can't clear a climb because someone's right there, but whatever. That's how the climbs on these trails often tend to work, is that they're the bunching up point. More squirmy sand here. This little bit of trail in here reminds me a bit of kind of the Hogs Trail stuff in Sedona. If you covered those in sand, just being a little bit exposed on the hillside, kind of quick up and downs, great sensations at least.
Watch out the flow, though.
Hey guys.
You've done that one before.
I have, fortunately. Have a good one. Yeah, some fantastic rock work. Someone's dragged out these massive chunks of rock to make what could be really technical, challenging sections into whatever. More squirmy sand, more squirmy sand. The big question in my mind right now is, does my battery last in this GoPro long enough to get Falcon Flow? This is already my second shot at filming this trail, and I just had my settings wrong on the GoPro, or it shook loose or something, because the view was looking too low, which I find frustrating to watch. So didn't want to do this video if couldn't give a whoa, that's more of that sand. Maybe the one thing us Canadians have some exposure to, which helps us a bit for sand, is snow on our fat bikes, because there will be some snow conditions that feel very much like that. I hope there's these wide angle shots that we have to use to give you an idea of the fact that you're behind the bars and where the trail's going. The one thing you lose on that is the easy ability to show off the incredible landscape around. This really is something special. Here's the caution sign at that little bit harder section that we finish on. Hey there.
How you doing?
Awesome, how are you? think the thing on this that makes me and most people nervous is where you get the pebbly stuff over top of sand, and these sections like this where you get sand over top of sand on top of rock. But successful. One quick little repositioning funny hop in there, then some stellar rock work, and if I remember correctly, that's the like I said, it's a few seconds of spice and then relatively straightforward. Definitely fun to watch people riding down this. So that was Eagle's Eye. We then come out back on the Sand Flats Road. I pedal up for, I think they say 800 feet. We got a nice rain cloud right up ahead. With the way it's so windy right now, hopefully means that by the time I get there, it's gone. For other people who have ridden the Raptor Route and Falcon Flow, I'm very curious to know your thoughts about this trail, and if it kind of delivers on what people are hoping to experience when riding Moab. When I heard that Moab had tried to put in, notice the word try, I thought it was just an attempt. I didn't think there was an opportunity here to really do flow, but this chunky in rock flow stuff is super rewarding and a lot less monotonous, I find, than just single track winding back and forth in the same texture of dirt. So even the fact that you have the odd spicy section of sand, some rock, a quick up or down on rock, then hard pack sand. I think that's one of the special things about mountain biking for me, is all the textures and sensations that you feel while you're riding, and hopefully while you're getting a ride relatively quickly and really get the most out of any energy you've put in to get to the top of a ride. So here we are, Falcon Flow down. I got wind in my face on the way down, which is a shame, but we'll see if we can make this kind of a quick one. This is, if you're going to be riding fast in this stuff, you better want to have your technique dialed, because this kind of dirt that we're on here, it's got great grip until it doesn't, and that point at where it doesn't is going to show up a lot earlier for those people who are pushing their bodies back in corners rather than staying centered, weight on their hands, driving their feet. You really do get the chance to corner a little bit faster if that's your technique. Different color of sand. We're feeling a little bit more wide open as far as the kind of speeds that we get to keep here. We're always watching out for sand like we just went through. But like the reward of all these kind of corners, so awesome. And then a slab, and then more of that, and something we can catch air off of. And something else to catch air off of. For the most part, route finding on this trail and on the 2 Raptor routes before, really straightforward. Back there, that last corner, for an instant I was a bit kind of puzzled what I was supposed to do next, but for the most part, you're riding a well beaten in track with nothing else that looks like good potential trail. I hope this wind I'm riding in isn't affecting the quality of the audio here. And that's me being a spaz. I'm getting pretty pooped. This shows the upper body and how much it has to work if you're working the terrain, trying to get those 1 or 2 quick pedals in, waiting. When I say waiting, I'm waiting my front wheel in the corner. I look up and that cloud is still there, looking ominous. So all the more section to all the more reason to keep riding fast, to try and beat the rains. As you can see, or I hope you can see, once we're into the slabby section here, we do have the classic slick rock style dots on the rock to stop us from getting lost. We also have those very, very quick little lungy type things. And as I get tired, I notice that I sit back on my bike a little bit. That's when I think most people are most likely to have a crash, is your adrenaline says go, your body's begging for a little bit of a break. You sit back to take the weight off your arms, and next thing you know, you're wondering why you're laying on the dirt. So be aware of that sensation. If you're sitting in the back seat, you're tired, slow down or just pay extra attention. And as always, there's a reason why all the skills coaches say it. But be looking far ahead. You can hopefully spot those tricky little lines where a bit of an alteration to the ride or the route you're taking may get you through something rather than hold you up. And I'm not taking the hard straight line there, unfortunately, because I am tired, which is a shame. Took the straighter up line there. Same with there. In many cases, the straight line takes less energy than the thinking, the turning, the slowing down. Of trying to optimize to an ever so slightly easier section of trail. I'm kind of in disbelief that my GoPro battery hasn't given me any horrible sounds yet, so you just get to keep watching this. Heading into a very brief up here, and I would call this kind of the 2/3 point of Falcon Flow. I don't know if that's accurate as far as mileage, but that last section there sure takes at least 2/3 of your energy and offers you 2/3 of the fun of this ride. Whew. Have you ever tried talking almost non-stop while trying to ride like 8 out of 10 fast? Wow. I'm out of breath now. Hoo-wee. I think we lucked out. That rain is no longer the primary concern. I do see other clouds who look like they probably would like to rain on my parade, but we keep on trucking and hope to be fast enough to finish this ride between little rain squalls. Legs are feeling pretty cooked. Somewhere up here is a couple punchy bits. Hope the legs will be on board. That's It's a little punchy one. Couple punchy ones. Oh, thoroughly pooped in here. Curious also, for anybody that's watched this far, how many of you are Strava junkies? Do you chase individual segments? Does it matter to you? Do you just use it for tracking miles? I will admit to using it as a very good motivational tool. I absolutely love riding alone, but the one thing that does or doesn't do is ever give you a sense of how your endurance or your technique is compared to other people. I once very naively thought I was actually a good mountain biker because of my hashtag BMX background, and it was only once I started paying attention on Strava that I started to see what was possible for speed up and down, which gave me good inspiration to work on fitness, as well as to try and figure out where is it that these fast guys are able to get so much time on me on trails that I think I'm riding at sort of a natural speed limit. So I am a big fan. I make a point of not allowing myself to get into that Strava mindset, though, where the people ahead of me are of no consequence. I still take pride in being nice to people on the trail. This is a fun little tech uphill zigzag. Now I'm hearing a little bit of thunder out there. That's going to put some pressure on. Don't want to be the lime green lightning rod. Hey guys.
Hey, have a good one.
Good, thank you. Have fun.
Dude.
And we now get a few more moments of the windy, unky chunky terrain, which is such a treat. Oh, that was another lightning. Or thunder over there. Thunder while playing on the beach sand. Oh, such fun. May not sound like it from my breath, but I'm loving it. I think I spotted a little shortcut somewhere in here yesterday. And when a shortcut means getting to ride something steeper, I'll take it. So this video, as I've been riding down here, I'm thinking I'll release it on its own, but I'm also going to use a lot of segments from it in a video about how to basically mountain bikers guide to camping in Moab, so that if it's a couple of you or a group of you, you can spend a lot of time riding right from your campground, or very quick drives, while also being conscious of the fact that people want to experience a lot of the different regions of Moab. So if you stumble across this, actually consider even subscribing, because what I do a lot of, or have done a lot of on this channel so far, is bike reviews. Of course, I'm a bike shop owner, so I admit that I have bias, but of the bikes that I sell, or the brands that I sell, I don't just bring in everything. I want to like the bike. I want to have a particular customer in mind who I think is going to like the bike. And in many cases, show or describe some of the details about the bike that those online bike magazine website type things, they don't really get into. They're trying to be pure entertainment. I'm an idiot and I was in the wrong gear. I'm trying to show pros and cons of bikes. Just wanting everybody to love riding their bike as much as I do. And I think good, honest info about bikes is a good way to do that. I'll admit my editing skills are non-existent. I've tried scripting what I talk about, but I find it takes forever and it just doesn't feel natural to me. When I started doing those bike reviews, it was actually after having good conversations with customers in the store and them saying, wow, I've been to like 4 or 5 other shops and now I come here and 90% about what I've learned about this bike, this category, what might be the right bike for me, 90% I learn from talking to me and my staff about the bikes, because we all tend to be that sort of bike nerd that takes a pile of joy in helping people and educating. And we don't see it like a boys club where you have to earn the right to learn these things. Let's make everybody stoked. Let's put them on the right bike, have them not wasting money, because that's a surefire way to lose that person as a future cyclist. And I selfishly just want more cyclists in the world, because with more cyclists comes the pressure on land management everywhere that we need more trails. Having been in Moab 25 plus years ago, all the trails, with the exception of Slick Rock, that we ride now didn't exist back then. And over those 25 years, there's been a lot of battles trying to present mountain biking as a legitimate thing that deserves their own trails. And here we are. So got a few raindrops starting to fall. My dead legs have a few hard pedal strokes left in them. I'm thirsty. I've been pedaling for 49 minutes. Hoo-wee. And it has been an absolute treat. I will pray the batteries hold out so you can see me right into the parking lot and be inspired to come ride the Raptor Route in Moab. And if you do, let me know I sent you. Let me know your thoughts on the video. Tell me what you thought about the trail after having experienced it for yourself. While I try not to get blown off this ridge. And then while I try to pedal into this wind and not come to a grinding halt. This rain is trying to come down. I'm trying to finish. Who is going to win this battle of the ages? a bit of a secret here. Andrea, who is Mrs. Bike Bros, she just finished riding just this section of trail, just riding Falcon Flow in what seemed like a pretty fast time, and I've been trying to do the 3 trails in a similar amount of time, and it has sure proved to be a very tiring thing. And I think I just watched her time roll past. And we now have raindrops on slick rock, gum bears and posies, or however that song might go. Is that a Christmas song? Can we make a new version? Rain rock on slick rock? Raindrops on slick rock? This up onto rock and down again. If I could bottle the psychology that makes that fun, I think the mental health crisis in the world would be vastly diminished. This sort of riding is like extreme yoga. It does not allow time for negative or silly thoughts to take over your mind. And there's Andrea. Rain's just about to start, and we get to leave, and we stole a ride on a rain day.